Hello, everybody. Sawadee krap. Great honor to represent oyster farmers from France. And in terms of representation, also happy to represent French people, also European people, and also GI people. So we are a big family. Okay, I have a short time to explain to you what is Marennes Oléron oysters. So it's a short presentation, very fast. If you have any question, you can come to see me. And the target is also to speak about protection and enforcement, which is not my best knowledge, but I can answer to that. Just a small focus on France with Olympic Games, so we were really proud of that. Geographical indication, we are second, always second in France. The top one is Italy, my colleague. But it's quite big, large. I did some totals for you, but we are second in Europe. It represents around 800 GIs. So two big families. As you know, we are French, wine and cheese. So second rank in Europe, major family wine cheese. So spirits also, of course, we have some cognac here and some wine, but only 388 PDO, only for wine and spirits, 25 billion euro. It's enormous. 113 PGI. So under this PGI with wine, it's more, we call it country wine. It's not very known appellation, but it's larger district. But it's already 113 PGI. After for food, we have a big balance between PGI and PDO, almost the same turnover, but it's 260 GIs, which is also enormous. We are a very small part of that, I will say. We have also some specific certification. So organic is not specific to France, but we used organic before Europe. So we have 89,000 farmers certified under organic product, which is not so bad, 6.7 billion euro. It's quite big production. And we have really specific French certification, which is Label Rouge. And Label Rouge is the way that the product has to be better than another one with a laboratory test with consumer and statistically different compared to regular product. We have some also Label Rouge products on my booths today. So it's 443 Label Rouge certification in France, which is huge. It's quite known now in Europe also. Oops, sorry. Yes, so now going to my part, oyster farming, which is quite exotic today. Marennes Oléron oysters. So we are #1 in Europe. Under this PGI, we have 200 farms, which represent 2,000 farmers, 20,000 tons, 100 million euro turnover. And my association, collective association, has a turnover, a budget of 1.5 million euro to do all the actions. What we do, who we are. So the collective organization has many functions. It represents 200 farmers. Today I represent them. We have one boss, big boss, who is also oyster farmer. One board of 28 farmers. And we have many missions. We can speak about protection, communication, export development, research, development, expertise, and we have a specific document yearly document, which is called PPC. It's a production and marketing plan we have to write each year, which is our philosophy, yearly philosophy, to do where we want to go and to try to reach that plan each year. The management, it's 28 people. The meeting is 6 times a year. So it's really a collective meeting. We have a 1-year general assembly, which is quite fun because you have 200 farmers in one place, and they are not always agree with neighbors. And we have a quality meeting dealing with all the quality audits, inspection, analysis. And we invite also administration at this meeting. So this is a global organization of our structure. Where we live, we are in the middle of Atlantic coast, so you're welcome. We are very near to very known appellation. So we are in the territory of Cognac. It's 1 hour from our place, the head office. And we are also 1 hour and a half from Bordeaux territory. We have a specific territory we call Claire. So Claire is the name of a girl, but Claire is also a name of an oyster pond. It's an old salt marshes, we will see. And we have 92% of the total surface of the Claire in France. So it means we have almost all. And it represents more than 2,000 hectares of this pond of water. So I did a simple file. It's around 3,000 football fields, to give you an idea. It's a huge territory made by the hand of a man. It's crazy. Why Marennes Oléron oysters? So as my colleague said, from Italy, you have 3 things. You have a territory, you have a product, and you have the know-how. So this 3,000 hectares of Claire was used at the beginning for salt production. But the salt 300 years ago was quite not so interesting than before, and we start to use this old salt marshes pond to finish the process of farming of the oysters. So it's one of the picture. Each pound is 1 Claire. So we call it fin de Claire. It's not meaty oyster, finished in Claire, in one of these ponds. And we have thousands of ponds like that. So Marennes Oléron oysters, 3 things: a territory, this special environment, which is a muddy pond used as a finishing process. The know-how is affinage. Like a cheese, we will finish the cheese. Like the wine, we will finish the wine in a wood barrel. It's something like that. And we have a species. It's a gigas oyster, used in many countries in the world now. It's a Pacific oyster, Pacific Ocean oyster. I have some also at my booth. So affinage en clair, I said that as a title, it's a spa for oysters. It's a moment of their life where they are very quiet before dying. So it can be very big, very small. It's very shallow. It's muddy and waterproof, of course, because it's water inside. It's located between sea and land. It means that we have estuary surface, and it's a mix of seawater and fresh water. Because of that, the oyster will become very specific. It will not be an ocean oyster. It will be something as between land and ocean oyster. And we use the beautiful tool as a natural tide. We have 7 meters of difference between low tide and high tide. So thanks to that, we can feel or take off the water from the pond as a natural way. We don't use any pump. What gives affinage to oysters? So it's some examples. You can see, at least from the picture, you have the color, you have the meatiness. The best, number one, is the best conservation after harvesting. An oyster lives in the water. When you take off some from the water, an oyster after affinage will stay longer outside the water. It's more waterproof than a regular oyster. After, of course, we have this subject as refined flavor. Refined flavor, it means that the taste of an oyster from Marennes Oléron is different because the salinity is at least 50% less than ocean oyster. So thanks to that, when you eat it, when you taste it, it's not the different. It's really less oceanic taste than a regular oyster. And many things can happen during this affinage. We can have some green color gills. We can have a growth or very meaty oyster. We can have many, many things. This affinage will change the oyster, really. Benefits, okay, I go very fast on that, but benefits, I will say, of Marennes Oléron oysters, but not only, of GI product, could be. For the retailer, strong notoriety in Europe, of course. We are known. The name is known. It's also a symbol of French gastronomy. We have a range of different kind of oysters, from low price to very high price to exclusive. We have sales service, also speaking with consumer about the product, and we are also certified. It's not a brand, it's a certification. It's a GI, so you have an independent body who will check what you are doing or what you are saying to the consumer. It's totally different. And for the consumer, of course, we guarantee a specific product. Marennes Oléron oyster is not Thailand oyster, is not American oyster, something different. Of course, GI system, we have monitored quality, so it means that we have independent body, auditors, inspectors, will check from farm to fork the quality of the product, traceability, many things. Oyster is very good for health. Nutritional quality is the top, except maybe the salt, but we don't have so much. Healthy product and natural product. We don't feed oyster. We don't give medicine. It's quite something as from wild to little farm. But yes, in animal production, imagine how many varieties or species we farm like that. We don't give feed, we don't give medicine, almost nothing. So protection. With this beautiful PGI logo, as my Italian colleague showed to you, of course we use it. We are proud of it. It should be better promoted in Europe, I think, but it's my opinion. What does it mean for Marennes Oléron? So under this logo and this indication, Marennes is a city, Oléron is an island, Marennes Oléron oyster. It's a farm on the fresh Atlantic coast. It has to be finished or matured in the territory of these 27 villages, packed also in the same place, certified by independent inspector. We pay this inspector, but we don't manage them, I will say. And the quality is checked internally and externally. So when you see this logo, it means all of that. We have 3 different certified levels on Marennes Oléron oysters. Of course, we have a PGI, so we reached it in 2009. We are the only PGI oyster in the world. As I know, in Europe, it will be soon Normandy oyster. Another French oyster will reach PGI. Of course, it guarantees the quality of the product in a specific territory with a specific know-how. And we have also 2 products under double certification, PGI and Label Rouge, top quality premium product. So we reached that in 1989 and 1999, which is quite difficult to reach. I will say PGI is not easy, Label Rouge is difficult. So we are proud of this 3 certification because 2 products are under Label Rouge and PGI, and 2 products are under PGI. How we do? So this collective organization I represent developed many collective actions and also can create a specification book. So you have to propose a specification book. You have to write your recipe and what should be the cake after this recipe to Europe or to organization. So we send a project. For PGI under Marennes Oléron, it was 10 years. 10 years of work. From the beginning of writing the specification book to have the logo, it was 10 years. And registration, of course, based on territory, know-how, and the quality. Monitoring system. So now, each day, what happens? The farmer, they have to check the quality of the product they do. It means traceability, it means quality checks, it means many things from farming to sending. Of course, ODG, so it's collective organization, has to check them internally. So we audit them 100% each year, from farm to fork. And after you have accredited audits by independent body, so they audit 30% of the farmers, which represents around 200 audits. And we have also to check with accredited laboratory for Label Rouge the quality of organoleptic product, and also regarding PGI, microbiological analysis. The quality team will summarize all the actions regarding the quality, and yearly we'll have a very important meeting with all administration also regarding all the specific cases concerning infringements, for example. So why do we have to protect? We have to protect the GI farmers, because this appellation can be only in this territory. So of course, under GI, you will protect the farmers. Of course, under GI, you will protect the territory. Of course, under GI, you will protect the product. Because if you have only 2 or 3, you are not under GI. And of course, maybe it's the most important one, that you will ensure authenticity for the consumer. The consumer today is waiting for authenticity. Enforcement, how it works. Why? Your product is a diamond. You're the only one to do it. So you have to protect it and to do really enforcement. So at national level in Europe, or European level in all the territories, we have a system of 3 different levels. Certification system. So it's managed together with the organization by external certification body, accredited. You will also deal with administration, because if there is any counterfeit, government will deal with it. So in France, we have, for example, INAO or DDPP. So it's organization of French government who deal with counterfeit and also sanitary aspect. And of course, if it's not enough, we will go to seek judicial remedies against counterfeits. Right now, we have some in progress of counterfeits. International level, it's beginning to be quite complicated, as my colleague said again, because the world is very large, and each country understand different things. So just at the border of Europe, it's start to be quite difficult to detain goods suspected of infringing GI rights. Of course, you can have counterfeits. And more you have notoriety, more you are counterfeit. And after, you need international cooperation. So I will not go here, but EU GI agreements to extend protection, of course. This is a dream of all GIs, to be recognized all over the world. So the challenges for the enforcement, it's the capacity of monitoring inspection. How many people will help you to deal with all this inspection, country, organization? The complexity of cross-border enforcement. We see also right now, and with all the communication tools we have, that counterfeiting is growing very fast. You can communicate on counterfeit on internet very easily, and it can be tricky to catch these people sometimes. Of course, all this inspection, body certification, cost a lot. For example, in our case, it's around 400,000 euros a year. You have to pay, and you have to keep the added value of the product to pay this system. And the last point, which is not the best, it's duration of enforcement. The law is very low. So it means that the time you deal with a problem can be very long. Conclusion, before I lose voice. Yeah, it's a great message. GI, it's the only way to settle sustainable production in a specific territory. Nobody wants to drink Coca-Cola all over the world. It's not true. It's easy way, but it's not the best. So GI is a good response. We have to settle production in a specific territory with a specific know-how. Why? Cultural heritage. Thai people are not French people, are not Italian people, and we have not the same gastronomic culture. The know-how, diversity. If I go to Thailand, I don't want to eat what I eat in France. If you go to France, you don't want to eat what you eat in Thailand. Territory development, of course. If you have not any more local farmers, you have not any more local territory. Today we are looking for UNESCO protection of our territory. Of course, we have to protect the authentic product, specific product. The wine in Thailand is not the wine in France, but I'm interested to know what is the wine in Thailand. And of course, if you deal with the 3 points, the consumer trusts you. What is necessary? You need a robust system of registration, which is the most complicated. In Europe, it's very difficult process to reach today a GI. Long time, strong motivation, cost, expensive, etc. But you need to focus always on reaching the goal. Of course, you need an effective enforcement. If you see counterfeit, and if you don't succeed to fight against that, you will lose motivation. And of course, you need international cooperation, because today, I'm happy to show you my oysters in Thailand, but if tomorrow I have counterfeit in Thailand, I will be not happy. Thank you.